how aggressive do you think the use is of PEDs in BJJ?
I think it's pretty aggressive. I think, again, there's not great financial compensation from the events, but like in terms of instructional sales, selling seminars, and just they want the medals. They want the clout from the medals. So there's no drug testing. Generally, people are gonna take some. I myself put out my stack. Obviously, I'm sponsored by a steroid, or a TRT, anti-aging clinic in Texas. But
In testosterone.
yeah, but I put my stack out because I also like just say no doesn't really work with drugs. You know, it's like you just say no, kids take it anyway. I'd rather at least to the next generation let them know what I'm taking, so that they don't imagine it's up here and they don't take dangerous amounts. I at least want to be like,
is it a relatively sort of therapeutic dose that you take?
Yeah, so 200 or 250 a week. We get spicy with some Anavar for matches coming up, and then a real low dose Deca. But that's really it. And I don't want the kids or the next generation to speculate. I don't want them to think I'm taking a gram a week or something. I think it's good to let them know what I'm taking so they can see, hey, well, he was
able to be the second best in the world.
I could be the second best in the world on this fucking shitty little stack, you know? So I think it's like a harm reduction strategy rather than a just say no.
Have you got any idea how much further people push the drug use?
Oh yeah, I've been around athletes that pump some crazy levels. You know, like you got the ultimate bro science guys. Like I remember one famous athlete had, I mean, it's more than who you think. You know, I know one famous athlete had some health issues, and when the doctor said, "Hey, what are you taking?" they didn't know what they're taking, but their bro science that was administering it to him said, "Hey, I just look at this person every day. I know what they need," and I'm just like, that's wild.
That's like some voodoo doctor. Like telekinesis.
Yeah, like holds the stack back from him, doesn't tell him what's given him. It's like, so there's a lot of crazy shit out there. When it's shrouded in secrecy and they're going to do it anyway, they're left to find idiots to administer it, you know? So it's almost like...
it's very much the Wild West. There's kind of, I guess this is like the meeting of the sort of more old school martial arts side stuff, which is this mystique and kind of magic and secret moves and stuff with a new world of evidence-based something. But, you know, the mystique and the magic is supposed to stay within the art form of the sport, and the evidence-based stuff is supposed to stay within the blood work and the testing and the pharmaceuticals. Like, you don't get it the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for full transparency. You know, like I'm honest about every single thing I do, almost too honest, but because some of it comes across a joke, most people just don't believe me. But like most of the stuff I put out there is true.
Have there been any spicy substances that you've heard about fighters using before matches? Given that anything's on the table, maybe I need to smoke weed before I go out there. I don't think that ketamine would be a particularly useful.
Nose beers give you a little perk up, you know?
Is cocaine a performance enhancer when it comes to the sport of Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
I think it's a bit of a wake up, you know, like a strong shot of coffee. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a stimulant. If you take too much, you're gonna probably gas out, and maybe that's why I have a bad gas. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, people take crazy shit. Everyone has different stuff they take. I've been around guys who took magic mushrooms before the match and shit, and I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? You know, like, just people will do anything to get an edge.
Are you worried about? I appreciate what you said, that, you know, you put your puny, wimpy little stack out there as like that, you know, this, you don't need to sort of go too hard and heavy, but, you know, downstream from you and a lot of the other guys in the sport are young kids. You know, like one of the Tackett brothers started when he was 4 years old. If you think
steroids or jiu-jitsu now, that's why he's so good, the bastard. Eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you worried about sort of influence on the new generation, whether it be nose beers or keep jiu-jitsu gay or the steroids? Like, do you
yeah, the nose beers is not good. Hey, because you know what's funny is I make jokes about that, like and the kids do the sign.
I saw you next to a kid at the UFC thing.
I know, but the problem is I tried to stop doing it, but it's the parents that want it, you know? And like we even gave it a bad name. I was calling it the white powder, you know, but yeah, I don't know. It's not great, you know, but like, I guess it starts a conversation, but I would say your kids shouldn't be looking up to me. You know, I didn't win anything. Fucking send them in the right direction, you know?
Do you feel, or do you think that you're going to feel a bit of a different kind of responsibility now being a event organizer in some regard? Does that come with any change in the way that you need to operate yourself?
I mean, that's a good question. I think basically running a non-profit probably influences that a little bit, but well, I'm not really running. I'm just helping run the tournament. But yeah, I mean, for sure. But I've already had these conversations with sponsors, where sponsors have said to back down on certain things, and I've turned the money away. Like even with my instructional titles, I keep a controversial title because I'd rather be authentic. I'd rather have a smaller, more dedicated audience than a broader.
What are some of the names of the instructionals you've released?
All right, so this one was spicy, actually. So there's a move in jiu-jitsu called a false reap. It's a false reap. It's a type of way to enter a leg lock. Reaping in the IBJJF is an illegal move. It's something where you bring your leg across the knee and it could potentially injure someone's knee. However, in the IBJJF, a lot of people, because they want to win, they'll do anything to win, they'll try to force the guy to make it look like they're doing an illegal move. And it's sort of, they were reaped, but falsely. But I brought out an instructional on the false reap, and I called it false reap accusations. But it was really a strong, it was an instructional about the reap. I remember Fanatics called me and they said, bro, can we change the title on this one, please? And I said, what about false reap allegations? But I mean, it fits in with the IBJJF like DQ narrative, and I just thought it'd be funny. But you got to take a risk, like someone's got to do it.
What was that one that you did about balls? Something to do with balls?
Oh, balls to the wall, yeah. Because when you're defending against wall wrestling, you're really slamming your balls. Well, I'm on TRT. Mine are pretty small, so they're not hitting the wall. But generally speaking, a clean athlete is going to have some big balls.
In other news, this episode is brought to you by Create Creatine Gummies. Creatine is an unbelievable supplement across thousands and thousands of studies. It helps with muscular endurance, it helps with brain health, it helps with energy. It is a phenomenal supplement that is unbelievably unfun to take. Instead of putting a chalky mixture into a drink, you simply get 3 of these 1.5 gram creatine gummies and you get to eat them. They taste fantastic. I genuinely look forward to having my creatine every single day. And they are third-party tested for potency and purity, so you know that you are getting exactly what is on the label. It is a way more convenient, easy to travel with, and enjoyable way to consume the creatine that you should be having. Across more than 700 scientific studies, creatine has been proven to safely and effectively build lean muscle, improve muscle recovery, and improve brain health and longevity. Right now, you can get 30% off your order by going to the link in the show notes below or heading to trycreate.co/modernwisdom. That's trycreate.co/modernwisdom. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip with Craig, you will love the full-length 2-hour-long podcast where he is an absolute menace. You can watch that right here.